This is Eurocult.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Yeah, no.
So,
We back in there like swimwear.
yeah, we're back after a little bit, and let's.
You and I are bigger than that.
Okay.
You have to say Tony Moran.
Or one more.
Nancy!
There we go.
Yeah. Tony Moran. Moran.
Yeah. So, we're back. We're going to be talking about the, what was it? Next of Kin from, is it 81 or 2, I believe? Something like that.
Oh, damn. Dirk's got
82, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a different one. I've got the second side.
Yeah, I like that poster art. I like
Yeah.
this one too, but
I probably prefer your one.
I remember seeing that in the video store, but I never watched it back then. I just remember seeing it in the video store.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it'd be like a crazy horror film with the big hand sticking out.
Because I only seen this a few years back, but
yeah. So we'll get to that, and
Yeah.
after we go over maybe a few recently watched. So we'll start with Dirk, as always. I think.
okay. Can I show this? I don't know if I can show it, so I'll be careful.
Has it got boobs or something?
I can show it back this way, like a little bit.
Oh, is that Night of the Hunted or?
Yeah, Night of the Hunted. With a hate.
Yeah.
I can show this. I definitely can show that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good addition too by indicator, but the 4K looked pretty damn good. This is my first time watching this. It was a high recommend from my good buddy Gizmo. But man, that's a crazy ass Gene Roland. Gene's rolling. Film.
Jean Rollin.
Right, Jean Roland. Yeah, a lot of his stuff, it was hit or miss. I like Grapes of Death, and I like this one.
Yes.
But some of them just don't,
Was it Requiem for a Vampire?
Yeah.
It has two chicks doing crazy stuff in a graveyard, and I like that one quite a bit. I know I saw Lips of Blood is coming out.
On 4K,
Yeah, I got a DVD of it, I think, or maybe or a Blu-ray. I haven't watched it. Some of his movies are good, but then they can be too artsy.
Yeah, that one I like. Fascination too. A lot of people don't, but
Living Dead Girl is really good. That's my first Eurocult kind of horror movie that I bought on DVD back in the late '90s when.
Right,
I think
I still need to check that one out. I have it. But I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Is that the one you spent like $50?
But then anyway, this one here, Night of the Hunted, it's it's kind of hard to explain it, but it's pretty damn original. I feel like, because it's a group of people, and like they've all lost their memory, and they're like confined to this high-rise mental health facility. It seems like, but when the film starts, you see Bridget LaHaye. She's like in a nightgown. She's running. You don't know what the hell's going on. And she meets the dude. He pulls over. She says her name's Elizabeth. But then 5 minutes later, she don't know what the fuck. She don't remember nothing. Her memory keeps screwing up. So, but then there's a naked chick that was with her. And she forgot that chick was with her or whatever. But anyway, a lot of sexploitation, I'd say, at its finest. But
yeah,
it's pretty decent, man. Pretty decent movie. It make you think. You got my mind wheels turning a little bit. But then
didn't she do like hardcore porn at one stage?
Yeah. Most actresses in this movie were porn stars, so
right. Yeah,
so that was a little different for them, to actually do a different kind of film. So, But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I give it a 7 out of 10. Night of the Hunted, and then
She was Bridget Mahay was at like Texas Frightmare. Did you ever see her there?
couple years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Joe. I think he went up and met her. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had a big old book she was selling, and
Yeah, I'm not gonna get that, but
I don't know what it's worth now. But I think at the
Yeah,
time
it's
you
probably
could have got
worth
the book,
yeah.
her faceless 4K and autograph for like I think it was $50, man, over there.
Yeah, well the Blu-ray was worth 40 something, I think.
That was a good deal, but
Yeah.
I guess I should have jumped on it. But, I'd already spent a lot.
I think I have a signed faceless slipcover somewhere because I had the DVD of it and I thought maybe it'll fit, but no, it won't fit.
That's one I need to see. I've never seen Faceless. I don't know why. I just
Yeah.
never got around to it.
It's I don't know. It's a remake of some other kind of Jess Franco movie, but it's one of his more coherent movies.
Yeah.
You know, there's not.
Is it Franco?
Yeah, Jess Franco.
Yeah, Franco. I always
It's
mix
not.
Rulon and Franco up.
Whoa.
They're pretty damn close in a lot of ways.
Well, Franco will sit on somebody's bush for about 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I don't. Roland doesn't do really that.
Well, I gotta say, in Night of the Hunted, there's like it's a long ass sex scene, dude. I'm like, what the hell? It's like 5 minutes. It goes on forever, you know. But
that is forever for me.
But then, so that was the first one I checked out, and then, so Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal. I finally checked this out. Got some culture in my watching. You know, this is a cinematic classic, world cinema, I guess you'd say. But so it's like taking place in the 17th century. Oh no, it's way before that. It's medieval times. So it's like I think it's 12th century, maybe 11th century. But got Max von Sydow. Excellent movie, man. When it opens, it's gorgeous cinematography. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a historical fantasy, and but yeah, so it's kind of like the Black Death has happened, and this Antonius Block knight has just came back from the Crusades with his squire Johns, and they're sitting there, like he's sitting there on the side of the river or whatever, and death comes up to him, and then he offers him a game of chess instead of death taking him with him. But I highly recommend it. It's not boring at all. It's an hour and a half, and the shit flew by. I was like, what the hell? Because I was like, usually I'll check the time, how much left on a movie or something, but I didn't do that one time. But highly recommend it. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's not his best. I like Virgin Spring better than this one, but I need to watch some more of Bergman stuff. So
Cool.
But yeah, let's see. And then this son of a bitch here. The last horror film, Maniac 2. Love to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's nowhere near as good as Maniac. It's a fun little watch, I guess, But for what this cost, I mean, that packaging's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's not the greatest damn film I've ever seen or nothing,
Did Dirk? Did you get the plushie?
No, I didn't get it. Yeah, I skipped on the plush, the little bundle. I think it was $90.
Something like that.
And I see a lot of people still didn't get their damn plushie, right? So they're still waiting on it.
They were like trying to make it look more like Joe Spinell or something. I'm like, how do you do that with a plushie? Just put the damn thing out.
Yeah, from the picture, but that was a drawing, I guess. But yeah, it's it's a wackadoo comedy horror, man. It's it's guerrilla style, no permits involved type of shit. He's filming shit at the Cannes Film Festival, and
Yeah.
Carolyn Monroe returns, and this guy, he's a cab driver, and he lives with his mother, and he's obsessed with his name is Vinnie Duran. He's obsessed with this actress Jana Bates, and he's determined to have her in his film. She has to be in it, and he's not taking no for an answer kind of shit, and he's a fanatic. Well, she gets like a note that says, "This is your last horror film," and then she goes somewhere and sees a guy's head's cut off and shit. People start dying. Spinell's sweaty as ever, But yeah, I recommend it. I mean, for what this costs, man, I don't know. Unless you just got to have that package in or something. But
yeah, I didn't know. I thought that they sold out of that version of it, right?
Probably so. Yeah, I would imagine. But
yeah, people were going nuts over that cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thick ass book, and it's
a nice release and all that. I've watched it under the name Fanatic on VHS back in the day, and it was awful. And I know, like now you've got people saying, "Oh, with the good print and everything, oh, it's not a bad film, it's pretty good." But
so I'm like, wait a minute,
but,
slow your roll there, buddy.
No. Yeah,
well, that's
it's okay. It's okay, I guess.
What's that?
I say it's okay, I guess. At best, like.
Yeah, no, it's a 6 out of 10. I give it a 6 out. I'm being nice. It's probably really a 5, but.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, or?
No, that's it, man. I just those 3. I was just gonna do 3. So.
All right. How about you, Darren? I think you got some.
Yeah, I've got 3. First one was a film called Dark Harvest from this year, fairly recent. Directed by David Slade, who did Hard Candy and 30 Days of Night.
Oh.
So, yeah, this is basically set in Halloween, June of fall of 1963. The terrifying legend Sawtooth Jack rises from the cornfields and makes his way towards town, where gangs of teenagers are ready to slaughter the murderous scarecrow before midnight. Among the others, teenagers, Richie, who wants to break free from the town's curse. So basically, you've got this kind of legend of this Sawtooth Jack, and he's kind of like this scarecrow or this monster. And every Halloween, all these boys got to basically go on this run to kill this guy, or to certainly put him, to sleep for like the next 12 months, because this keeps occurring. So this boy Richie, his brother the year before did the run, actually killed Sawtooth Jack or what have you. And then it goes on to the next year, and then it keeps going and going. So this Richie's like living in his brother's kind of, past, where he's had all the glory and all this. And I thought it was okay. It sounds really convoluted, like I just said, but it's got some great kind of Halloween imagery. I did like the look of the monster. And it kind of got like an alien vibe as well, the look of the monster at times. But it's really well done. I just thought that it kind of it's not quite as good as some of the recent Halloween films I've seen, and there's something lacking, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. But it was okay. I'd say definitely give it a one-time watch on Halloween. So I'm guessing you've all seen Believer, yeah? Exorcist. I'm not sure if do it, guys.
I haven't. No.
Oh God, man, this was.
I'm
bad.
good. I'm not in a hurry, so
Oh, this was bad, man. I tell you. It takes like half hour to get going. And the first half hour, the only thing we find out in this half hour is that there's 2 girls gone missing, and it's really, really bad. It's like
I don't think you can spoil it though, Darren. I don't care. Yeah.
What's that?
I don't think you can spoil it though. I really don't care if you do.
Okay. So
you and I are bigger than that.
So you got Ellen Burstyn.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. You got Ellen Burstyn comes back, and it is just crazy. I don't know how much money she was offered. Obviously, a large amount of money.
Well, she was offered 3 different times. Like, so, like she didn't want to do it after reading the script. Like,
They
I
gave
don't
her
blame her.
they gave her that nice, comfortable outfit that she wears.
Yeah, right.
Looks
yeah,
like
she read the script and
pajamas.
she's like, no, hell no. Then they was
The
like,
thing
oh,
is,
we'll double your money. She's like, no, hell no. We'll triple your money. She's like, no, no. Well, we'll triple
yeah,
your money and give a bunch of money to your favorite donation. I mean, like
Charity.
donate to your favorite organization and shit. Then she
Yeah.
agreed. So that should let you know a little bit.
so the thing is with it, right? She's 91. She looks like she can barely walk or barely get out of bed in the morning, and we're expecting her to take on this, demon who's taking over these 2 girls.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, no, it just doesn't go. She's written this book. She's estranged from like Reagan. She's written this book all about the case, which would never have happened anyway, because in the first film they were trying to get away from it all. They wanted it low key. It just makes no sense for the character whatsoever. The exorcism scene at the end is just a farce, because they bring in this woman who's got no kind of experience in doing this at all. And it's kind of a free-for-all at the end where they're just saying, whoever's in the room basically have a go at trying to kill these demons or this demon. It just doesn't work, really. Like, every kind of decision in this film was wrong. And it's like they went out with a checklist how to, shit on the original Exorcist, and it's just ticking off everything as it went. And they think they're being clever by doing, like, homages, because we got, like, the dog fighting scene, we got the boxing scene and all that, and they think they're being clever doing that, and it's awful. I don't know, I hated it on every level. I thought I might even enjoy it, in a little bit of so bad it's good, but you can't even get out of that. And in regards to the ending, I think a certain character, I think everyone knows by now that a certain character pops up in the ending. Linda Blair. I'm sorry if I spoiled it.
Yeah.
And the way it's handled is so cringe at the end. And
Yeah, nobody else told me that, but I really don't care. At the same time.
I thought, it's kind of an written thing. Everyone most people know it, but
right.
what's Stephen Dana's book?
They must have offered her PETA a bunch of damn money.
Yeah, for like one line in the film.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Well, I really tried to like it on some sort of level, but the more I'm sitting and thinking about it, I think I was just kind of numb when we finished watching it, and I had to process everything. Of course, there's not much to process in this movie. It tried to be paint by the numbers, but it didn't do that very well either. And it wasn't, they shouldn't have had Exorcist in there at all. I told Steve they should have called it just The Believer, because I think if you can have a core component to this movie, I think that's what it was, because the father of one of the girls that becomes possessed. That's the other thing. Why'd they need 2 girls that were possessed? I'll never know. But that just calmed.
Well, you've got to have a black girl in there nowadays.
I guess you gotta have a black girl, and a white girl.
Just to be woke.
But
you gotta check all the boxes.
Yeah.
The father of the black girl who becomes possessed is not a believer at all. He doesn't believe in anything. The father and mother of the other girl are what I would call extreme, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but what I would refer to as extreme Southern Baptists. And they're like, oh, the kids are doing this and that, and that's why, the devil will take you over if you listen to this kind of music, or they didn't come specifically out and say that, but I got that vibe from the other girl's parents. Um, and at first, I thought these people were two complete assholes because they were so mean to the other girl's father, and I don't know why they had a reason to be mean to him. And then later, it was kind of like, oh, we hated each other in the beginning, but let's band together now that our two daughters are demon possessed. The other thing was, it was not shocking by any means if you compare it with the original Exorcist movie. You got the one girl standing up in church, and I kept waiting for her to, like, I kept waiting for the father to find her masturbating in the church somewhere or doing something awful.
Yeah.
And all she did was walk up the aisle of the church, the body in the blood, the body in the blood. And it's like, that's
you saw that
not
on the
scary.
trailer.
Yeah, it's not scary. It's not shocking. It's not.
I heard that was the best part of the whole damn movie, was what was in the trailer. So.
It's basically like The Evil Dies Tonight. He just latches onto some kind of thing he thinks is going to, phrase is going to be amazing, and it just fails.
And I would agree with Darren that, Ellen Burstyn because that's all she can do is sleepwalks through this movie. And
she probably didn't care.
She probably didn't.
That's my impression that I read stuff about it. I was like,
she was like, yeah, I'll come and make an appearance in this movie since y'all are offered to
show me the
money.
money.
Yeah. And the part with Linda Blair at the end, if they were going to put Linda Blair anywhere in the film, they could have done it better. But this was so weak. And like Darren said, one line. She says one line. And it's like, is that supposed to, make everything better? It's like Friedkin's probably rolling over in his grave over this movie.
Oh God, absolutely, it's probably killed him off, to be honest. That last scene with Linda Blair was kind of what I'm guessing is they've done the film. It's like they know it was bad, and they kind of thought, oh, we'll bring Linda Blair in to tack on that ending to try and, I don't know, get the original fans on board. But no, man, it just
at first I thought, because I was so numb at the end of it. At first I thought, well, maybe it would have worked just as a horror movie, but the more and more I'm thinking about it, it doesn't work at all.
A bad film's a bad film, and it just there's no way that would work. I don't think.
I'm the same way as the mayor. I haven't even thought twice about it really. Like, I was excited when I heard about it a little bit. I was like, I saw that trailer. I was like, fuck that shit.
As a fan of the original on Part 3, I would say it's definitely you have to watch it just to see how bad it is.
Right.
But
the difference is like, William Peter Blatty made Part 3, and he didn't want Exorcist on the title. He wanted it to be called Legion.
Yeah.
And these sons of bitches, they put Exorcist on there. That's cash grab shit. All day long.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even worse than the last two Halloween films. I'd rather watch them two on the loop than what.
I can't watch it again.
I can't do that either.
But the last one I seen was like a TV series called The Enfield Poltergeist that's being shown on Apple TV, I think in America.
Yeah.
So this is like a case that's really fascinated me over the years. Because I remember as a kid back like 1977, 78, reading, because I must have been 6 or 7, but they had like news bulletins on the TV, and like, my dad would read from the newspaper, and this was really freaky, man, like really freaky shit. There's a documentary on YouTube. What's he saying? Oh, he's on about Believer, is he?
Tell me about your experience with Believer.
But yeah, so there's a documentary on YouTube called Interview with a Poltergeist. I think Steve's watched it. And this came out back in like 2007, and it really shit me up. And I got to the point where I just didn't want to go to bed that night. I couldn't sleep on the thing. But But what I like about this new series is they're playing all the old tapes on audio, and they've got actors to like lip sync. So it's not, even though it's a reconstruction, it's got that realistic feel to it. And it's like, I would highly recommend people check this out for Halloween, because it's basically, there's a book as well called The House is Haunted, which I read, and that freaked me out as well.
What is this? What is this series called?
The Enfield Poltergeist.
Oh yeah.
It was in the base with The Conjuring 2, what they based that on.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, and then they bring two of the girls that it happened to originally, and one of the like cousins to come in. But yeah, I highly recommend that one. So yeah, that's the three I've watched this week.
Cool. Dana Lynn.
I got my pile here, but I'm going to go to these fast.
Okay.
So I've been watching kind of like a mix and match bunch of movies here lately, trying to get all my Halloween have-to watches in. But I went back and I watched Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, because you can't let Halloween go by, in our household at least, without watching this. Steve is distracting me with movie posters and stuff. I don't know what he's doing. But I don't think Steve has rewatched this.
No, I don't think I'll have time.
Says he don't think he'll have time. All right.
No.
So I don't think for fans of Prince of Darkness, I don't think I need to sit here and go into the plot. But if you've never seen this, John Carpenter pulls out all the stops on this movie. It is just fantastic.
Probably Alice Cooper's best performance.
Monster Dog is much better.
Oh yeah, well that's true. I forgot about Monster Dog.
So this is one that Steve introduced me to. I thought it was when we were dating, but it must have been after we were married. And that's the, I don't know if people can see that, there's such a glare on it. The WNUF Halloween special. And I absolutely love this. Now, it's probably not as good as Ghost Watch, but it's pretty damn good, because it really looks like something that would have been from maybe the late 80s, early 90s. But it was filmed, I believe, or came out in 2013, I think. And, but they have these old looking commercials in there. And it's interspersed with these newscasters talking about one of their crew is going to go into a supposedly haunted house where this boy had axed up his parents 20 years ago or something, and then he was executed for it. And he was playing with the Ouija board, and it was kind of like the Amityville Horror thing. He heard voices. The voices told him to kill his parents. And so the setup is really good. There's a few goofy characters in it along the way, because there's a crowd of people out there with this Frank Stewart, the guy that's going to go into the haunted house. And he's interviewing them and asking them if they believe in ghosts and stuff like that. And there's a few like goofy characters that pop up during that. And then they have a Ed and Lorraine Warren type of team, the Burgers, I think, or something like that are going to go in the house with Frank Stewart. And they have a cat, Shadow, with them, who's like their partner. He's, I guess, super sensitive to ghosts and things like that. But some of it is goofy. Some of it is kind of creepy, and the gist of it is that real things start happening inside the house once they go inside the house. And it's all filmed supposedly by the news station, and so they have to go to screens that say, like, we're having technical difficulties because there's horrific things going on in the house, and I guess they don't want people to be traumatized watching this stuff on TV. But it's very well made. You could almost believe this was, like I said, late 80s, early 90s, maybe, um, and was put out there. And the packaging that is on this,
Vinegar Syndrome.
did Vinegar Syndrome do it? I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember. But the packaging makes it look like an old VHS tape where somebody has recorded it off a TV and just put labels on it. Then you've got the inner cover of the kid sitting in front of the TV in his Halloween costume with his mouth open. So if you've never seen WNUF Halloween special, I would highly recommend that one.
That sounds to me like Ghostwatch that we had in the UK.
Yeah, I think Ghostwatch is slightly better than this, but this one's still pretty good.
I'll have to check that one out, yeah.
Now, this one, Steve's going to roll his eyes. Ever since I discovered this thing, we have such a glare on there that nobody can see anything. Steve, this is Haunted Ween. And this,
okay, yeah.
Haunted Ween.
Haunted Ween?
Yeah.
This movie holds a special place in my heart for a huge reason, and that is because some scenes were actually filmed in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They were filmed on the campus at Western Kentucky University. And it's supposed to take place in Kentucky. Of course, they give a fake name for the town, but a lot of it is actually filmed in and around Bowling Green. And so every year, usually, I send pictures from the movie, screenshots, to my sister-in-law who works on the Western Kentucky campus. And she's like, oh my gosh, there's the building where I work, and stuff like that. So it's just fun. If you've ever, been on the campus, you can pick out certain things. And Steve's distracted me again, but he tries to multitask. But anyway, it concerns Eddie Berber, who, when he was a kid, his mother ran a haunted house. And this kid's not right. He ain't right, as they say. So he wants to work in the haunted house, but his mother doesn't think he should do it just yet. She says maybe next year or whatever. So he decides one Halloween he's just going to go into the house, and this little girl gets lost in there, and she follows him because she thinks he knows the way out. And he just starts chasing her around this room with a rubber mask on, and she accidentally backs up into this shard of wood that's sticking. I don't know why it's just sticking out of the wall of this room, but she gets it goes all the way through her basically, and blood starts coming out of her mouth and stuff. And then he just completely loses it and cuts her head off and runs away. And his mother comes out into the field where he's at, and she says, Eddie, I think it's time we go away for a while. So then you get 20 years later, and the college students are needing funds for the fraternity. So they decide to have a haunted house, and guess who shows back up? The grown Eddie Berber shows back up, gives them a key to his old house, and says that they can have a Halloween or a haunted house there. And then, of course, Eddie proceeds to start taking out the college students one at a time. But I don't know really how Steve feels about this movie. I don't think he's that jazzed about it. But
no, I've seen it too many times.
You ain't seen it too many
Seen
times.
enough.
But if you could get your hands on a copy, I would recommend it. You may be able to watch it on YouTube as well if you can't actually get a copy. I think the director Doug Robertson. I think he died in the last few years. He used to sell copies of this, the 20th or 25th anniversary edition of it. And that's where I got my copy. But the first time I watched it, I remember watching it because I rented it. And I didn't know at first that it was actually filmed in Kentucky and filmed in and around Bowling Green. And that was an actual bonus. And a lot of the people that worked on the film, either in front of or behind the camera, were alumni of Western Kentucky University. There was even a professor at Western at the time that was in the movie. So just an interesting little slasher film to watch.
I always get that mixed up with Hack-O-Lantern, the two of them.
Hack-O-Lantern, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people got, and again, it's hard to see, but this is the box set from the UK for The Exorcist.
Nice.
And yes, very nice package. I don't think I need to go into the story of
Is
The
it-
Exorcist.
Is it the same transfer as the Best Buy Steelbook? Do you know?
I think it may be Dirk, but I think the sound is better.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did, because on the other one there's 7.1 sound, the Dolby Atmos or however you pronounce it. But I was watching this the other day and I didn't get through all of it, but the transfer just looked fantastic. It was popping off the screen. It looked so great. And the sound, literally, I could hear it all around me, especially in those Iraq scenes near the beginning.
Like in the attic and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It just feels like you're there, like you're in the movie and you're hearing this stuff. It's just absolutely amazing. And, of course, you get a booklet and some lobby cards and stuff like, and a little mini, double-sided mini poster and stuff like that with it. And here's the topper. There are 5 discs in this thing. So you get the theatrical cut, the director's cut on 4K. You get the same thing on Blu-ray. Plus, the extras are on a Blu-ray. None of this digital code shit that I don't know why they couldn't do this in the States.
Well, that's probably why. So they could do multiple releases.
Maybe so. But just a fantastic package overall. I would highly, highly recommend
Because
this
that Best Buy still, you just get the 4Ks. That's it. So.
Yeah. And
But I seen Dana's review for that, and the picture they give of that at first, it looked like there was going to be loads in it, didn't there?
yeah,
And then it's kind of disappointing in a way. But with the
was a
5
little
discs,
bit.
makes up for it a little bit.
a little bit disappointed, and yeah, like Darren said, when I looked at that picture, I thought, holy crap, I'm going to get, a ton of stuff. So,
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to talk about real briefly is the Psycho 4K set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I've only watched the first 2, but that's just, all that's done is whet my appetite to watch the rest of these damn things in here, because they the first 2 looked absolutely phenomenal. They sounded phenomenal. And if you can get your hands on this set still yet, I got this one from Orbit DVD, believe it or not, and got it pretty quickly. I don't know if they still have any copies left, because I missed out on the original run and I didn't get it directly from Arrow. But I took a chance, got on Orbit DVD, and I was like, oh man, they've got it. I've got to pick it up. You also get a book with this. And I don't know, somebody was saying they didn't like the package of this. I love it. I think it looks
It's awesome with the see-through cover.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to get a shower curtain like that.
Yeah, that would be cool, Dirk. But yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Well, I can't remember hardly anything I watched. Um, I did get the new the 4K Hellraiser set. I saw the mayor just mention that. I went for part 3 because I hadn't seen it in the longest.
Yeah.
And it definitely looks really, really good. They have an option to watch the unrated version, which they include kind of weird looking VHS footage. And the weird thing about it is the audio stays the same. You would think that I guess they had the audio and not the video. So, but so far so good. It looks really good. I was going to plan on watching the 4th one because it's another one I haven't seen in quite a while, but I haven't.
That's been some years since.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you know, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, we watched that Suitable Flesh.
Oh yeah, Suitable Flesh, which is a newer film with Barbara Crampton and Heather Graham. It's kind of what they were going for was kind of a Lovecraftian Stuart Gordon. I think they work with a lot of people who work with Stuart Gordon on his movies, trying to get that look and feel. Which I mean, I liked it to a degree. With a low budget, they really did a lot of things right, and
They did.
I think so. I mean, as far as the acting and everything, I didn't think. I mean, not saying it's a great movie or anything, but it, you really didn't know where it was going. So, and it had I can't remember, but yeah, that's all I can remember, unfortunately.
People are going nuts over that film online. And
I
know I'm going to
didn't
feel
care
like
for
you
it.
guys. Yeah, I know I'm going to be like disappointed when I watch it.
Well, I almost felt like, and Steve's going to say, oh, God, dang it. I almost felt like Heather Graham was trying to relive her glory days or something, because all I could focus on was sex scene after sex scene with Heather Graham, who's probably too old to be doing hot, steamy sex scenes at this point. Anyway.
Does she get totally naked?
No.
No, but I just think that they overdid the
You do see a nip, which is I wasn't expecting anything other than some cleavage and stuff like that, but it is what it is. It's pretty good.
Is it like some Janet Jackson nip slip?
There's no piercing in it, so
Okay.
and no Justin Timberlake. So
Okay, that's good.
I don't even think that was Heather Graham's boob.
yeah, well, they showed later when you wasn't watching it. Thank goodness that you saw her face with her tits, so it was her.
So they were hers? Okay.
At least that one was.
She must have had some work done on them then.
I don't know.
Right. I've
But
been hearing a lot of great things about this movie, When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, I hadn't got a chance to watch that yet.
People are putting that shit over big time. So
we did watch the Joe Bob Halloween special with with Demons 2. I did start watching All Hallows Eve, but I kind of abandoned it after a little bit.
Well, it was interesting. It started out interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I just wanted to watch, I guess, a comfort food or something, so.
Right.
Wanted that comfort film, yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
So, well, I liked Last of Us, the HBO show. I thought it was.
What I saw of it, I
didn't watch it.
I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty good. It's like Walking Dead, except they're not really zombies. They're there's like a fungus that gets in you and basically takes you over.
But it's based on a video game.
Yeah, it's based on a video game, but I liked it, and it was a shorter. I don't even know how many episodes there was, but there was maybe less than 10, and so you
I know
didn't
a
have
lot of
all
people
this.
love that game. So
Yeah, I really wanted to play the game, but then I got stuck in it. So they're also Gizmo saying that the guy who directed When Evil Lurks is the one that did Terrified, which is a really good one.
Terrified was pretty good, yeah.
okay,
So
awesome. Yeah,
Did
that's
any
one.
of you guys see the new John Carpenter TV series? I think
no,
it's
I've been
called
planning on it. Suburban
Suburban
Scream.
Screams. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
No.
downloaded it and I kind of flicked through a couple of episodes, and that shit looks bad, man.
Oh,
Didn't he like direct that over Zoom? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
during the
holy
pandemic.
cow.
With
He
his
was
cheese
on his
puffs
couch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with his cheese puffs, his weed, and his Xbox. You know, he's
exactly. Yeah, it looks
Call of
awful,
Duty.
man. I'm definitely going to give it a go. Just I might be so good.
I
It's,
think
it's
they
bad.
made it in Prague, and he was doing it. Yeah, like you say, from his
Maybe
laptop.
John Carpenter, it's time to hang up his jock, as they say, and just do his
You gotta
own
love
thing.
Carpenter though, because he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He really
He doesn't care what anyone says about
Yeah.
him, and he's in his own little world, and he's happy
People
enough.
should
Like,
just quit, asking him to do anything and just let him play his video games and smoke his weed and stuff.
right.
I think he's earned it.
They should get him to remake Black Christmas.
oh God, no. Well, from his couch, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're ready to start with Dirk's pick of
That's good though. I mean, that
Next
we
of Kin.
that's good. We spent this time on it because I really don't want to spoil this film for nobody.
Yeah.
Because I know probably a lot of people hadn't seen it, and it's a high recommendation, big time.
We
But,
watched it from Joe Bob showed it 2 years ago on the drive-in.
Season 3
Oh,
or
really?
something?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we kind of fast forwarded because we was trying to save time.
Not through the movie.
Not through the
but-
movie, but through his segments a little bit. But we still got some of the info and stuff. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know that. So it starts out. This woman, Linda, she's driving through the Australian countryside, and man, I gotta say, the tracking shots and the crane shots and the damn steady camera work. I mean, it's pretty damn amazing in this film, and the way they do 80 frames a second for some of the shots where it's real slow and
Yeah.
adds to the whole vibe of it. It starts out, you're like thinking that this is like some kind of supernatural shit going on, and then it changes tone. But anyway, so it's got stars. Well, the director is Tony Williams, and I think this is the only film he did. He didn't do any others.
I think he did a few, but I mean, like more documentaries.
I don't think so, man. Because I
Right,
listened to his commentary, and he was saying that he was looking at Toby Hooper, and he didn't want to do that. That's what he was saying. I was like, what the hell? Like, you made this masterpiece of a film, and then a lot of these other films aren't so great, like Toolbox Murders and shit.
Like, no one's seen this film either when it came out in Australia, and he was a bit disappointed with that because he thought this was going to kickstart his career, but he ended up doing commercials, I think, and documentaries.
But
I think Joe Bob said he didn't want to be pigeonholed as a horror director.
Yeah, he didn't want
to
do just horror. That was the thing. But it was featured in the documentary Not Quite Hollywood, and Quentin Tarantino praised the shit out of this movie. And am I froze?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Because y'all both were frozen. Usually when that happens, it's me. So.
Okay.
But it stars Jackie Karen. She's playing Linda Stevens. John Jarrett from Wolf Creek is Barney, a very young John Jarrett.
Yeah, and handsome looking, in my opinion. I think because he was just so batshit crazy in Wolf Creek, I couldn't see anything good about him.
Yeah, it's kind of a different role, really. Compared to Wolf Creek, yeah.
Right. But yeah, it's got Alex Scott as Dr. Barton. You got Bernadette Gibson as Mrs. Ryan. So at the start of the film, you'll see her come in. She's a new resident at this old folks home. I'm kind of all over the place like usual, but basically Linda Stevens, she's inherited this beautiful big ass estate from her mother, her estranged mother. I guess she was a hermit in her last days or whatever. And but at this house, there's a bunch of old people, like an old community of people that live there. So, but she gets there, she starts going through like her mother's diaries. And when she's reading through the diaries, she's finding out that there's unusual deaths that had happened. People were getting drowned and shit like that. And her mother's saying in her diary, she always feels like somebody's watching her and just unsettling, uncomfortable things. But as soon as she's there, she's not there long. And she meets up with Barney, her old lover. And then so they decide to go skinny dipping and getting it on in the woods and all kind of good shit, you know.
And you know who Barney is?
Huh? Yeah, we done said who Barney.
Oh, he done said who Barney was.
Yeah. Do what?
Barney, he's the guy from Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
Mick Taylor. Yeah, Mick Taylor.
John Jarrett.
Yeah, John Jarrett. But anyway, as soon as she's there, like she's not there long, and this old guy that I guess she knows him pretty well. His name's Lance. He goes to take a bath, and as soon as he puts his foot in the tub, like his foot touches another old dead guy in the tub. He's like freaked out, man. That shot is so crazy as hell. Like, and you see like when they go, that's one of the shots I'm talking about. It's like 80 frames a second. It's done from a vertical view, and you see them pulling him out of the tub. I mean, it looks like Diabolique, if y'all ever seen that.
Yeah.
No.
But they pull him out of the tub, man. That's so creepy. Like that whole. But let me back up a little bit. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So she had a nightmare before this happened, and she sees a little girl with a red ball. So in a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of The Shining in some ways. Like, not exactly like the story or whatever, but some of the things, like there's twin girls in this movie. The little girl with the red ball.
That's kind of like the Changeling as well with the red ball.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just saying like the house and everything, and then you got that damn Vertigo Hitchcock shot down the hallway where it's like the hallway's breathing and shit. I mean, this shit has so many great visuals in this film. But like I said, I don't want to spoil this damn movie. I don't know how to go about it without spoiling it though.
Right.
What's y'all's take on this film?
Do I want me to go?
Sure, go.
Yeah, I love this. I watched this. First time I seen this was like 20 years ago on VHS, and I paid quite a bit of money for the VHS at the time because it was the only way to see it. I absolutely love it. I think what I like about it is it's not just one genre. It's kind of like a haunted house or a psychological. You've got, could there be a ghost aspect? And then I love the last like 20 minutes. It turns full on slasher.
Turns into a slasher.
Yeah, it's full on slasher. But like the imagery Dirk said with the old guy at the window with the water.
Yeah, she has another nightmare. And she sees that old man that died. He's like banging on the window and shit. And like
they filmed that in in a swimming pool in Melbourne. They actually filmed that scene. Right. But all the, like you say, all the imagery. There's a couple of different endings really. You think it's going to end once and then it goes on again, and all that ending stuff and the reveal of the killer and the motive and all that I thought was great. But yeah, for me, massive thumbs up. I think it's probably the best 80s horror film that no one's ever seen. That's the best way
Yeah,
to
I
put
don't
it.
know how. This is another one I don't know how it slipped under my radar. Because now I want to own this thing, and Steve's like, "Oh, you don't need to own it. You can watch it on Shutter." I said, "It's not going to be on Shutter forever. They'll eventually take it off there."
So you've never seen this before, then, Dana?
I had never seen it before. The only
Wow.
next to kin movie I knew of was the Patrick Swayze one, and I was like,
Yeah.
"There's
Yeah.
a next to kin that's a horror movie." I was like, "Holy cow!" No.
Well,
Yeah, I
apparently
forgot
there's
to mention
another
the
one.
other title. What is it? I wrote the damn thing down. I like the other title, by the way. It's Before the Night is Out. I
Yeah.
really dig that title. I was like, what
It
the
was
hell?
going to be filmed as a black comedy as well with that title.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I'm
was,
glad they didn't do
it was
that.
going to be called Stinky something about some old people. It's like going to be a dark comedy where, and they completely changed the script where these people go to these old folks' homes and poison old people.
Yeah.
That was the original
Yeah,
plot.
I'm definitely glad they decided against that.
Yeah, I'm glad they axed that shit because, but it's a lot of red herrings in this film. Like I said, it's very hard to describe like things without full on
giving
blowing
away.
it. You know,
Yeah.
spoiling it for people who hadn't seen it. But
I was
recommend it.
convinced, like, there's a couple in this, like, in this big Montclair. They kind of run the show, like a doctor and
Yep.
this other woman, Connie. I was convinced it was them. And then I think the whole twist is amazing.
Yeah.
It is, man. Especially like, yeah, I'm not gonna say shit. So, but yeah,
There are a lot of red herrings in this, but believe it or not, I think, well, I guessed wrongly a couple of times about who the killer was. And then right before the reveal happened, it kind of clicked with me of who the killer was. But that's as far as I'm going to go with it because I don't want to.
I will mention. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I don't want to go any further and spoil it for anybody.
As far as like the atmosphere of everything in this film, it's like Darren was saying, it starts out you thinking it's like a kind of a haunted house kind of type deal, but the scene where she's got the flashlight and everything's just dark as hell. I mean, that shit is really good tension building type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's another shot when she's running out of the house. That's probably my favorite shot of the whole damn film. Like, and it's another vertical shot from the top, and she's just running, and everything just looks so creepy. Like it zooms in on the people, and so I found out that when they shot that, they shot it in reverse. The way that was done, you see this old man peeking out his door and shit. Like,
yeah,
it's so creepy. Old people are creepy any damn way. Like they can be, you know.
But you've got to mention the scene where she's in the bathroom and the killer's looking through the keyhole.
Oh,
right.
I mean, that is just amazing. Because she gets some kind of comb. We won't give away who the killer is.
Yeah, no.
A very dangerous comb.
Well, it's those combs that are real thin and have that really sharp end.
Yeah,
them.
my mom or sister had a comb. That was a metal comb and it had a very.
Well, they had plastic ones like that too.
Yeah,
with
you
sharp
could
ends.
do some damage.
But I mean, there's also 2 or 3 jump scenes that really got me in this as well, old school. The scene at the end where, without spoiling it, but you've got basically this truck just goes into this diner. Yeah. I mean, that just come from nowhere because she's like building like sugar cubes or something, and then that just
a sugar cube pyramid.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Friday the 13th where you think the film's over and then bang, but it does that at least twice, and can't speak highly enough of this.
Yeah, man, it's
I think I'm gonna be, well, I don't know about the haunted house aspect and Steve, but I didn't ever really. I can see what Darren's saying about the changeling and the red ball, but I never felt like this movie was a haunted house movie. And the other thing was, I didn't ever really feel like it was Shining-esque unless you count like the house being sort of like the hotel in The Shining.
Right.
Um, but what I thought, and this might be a hot take on this, I thought of this movie as a slow burn Giallo. That's what I felt like.
I can see that. Yeah.
Slow burn, you just said?
Yeah, a slow burn Giallo. That's what I felt it.
Yeah.
It's definitely got elements of the Giallo and slasher. Definitely, yeah.
Right. I always think of this movie, and the other movie I kind of put together is completely different. It's from Australia. It's called Fair Game. Have any of you seen that?
I've not about it.
And
I think Gizmo's seen it. Yeah,
it's a crazy film.
Title, I think of Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, but there's one scene where they have this girl, and they strap her topless to their front of their truck, and they drive her through the desert. And it's a crazy. I don't
think I've seen that.
Well, it's a crazy. Yeah, somewhere, but it's just a crazy. Australian films usually have something that you can definitely find enjoyment in. Even like the Talk to Me was Australian, and I think if it was just a U.S. made movie, it would probably not come out as well.
Probably not.
Yeah, definitely watch that Not Quite Hollywood documentary.
Oh yeah, you'll find all kinds of movies to watch.
Yeah,
he compares it big time to The Shining, and the director's like, he was talking about that. He's like, I don't think it's nothing like The Shining because we were filming this while that was being made.
Yeah, he'd never seen The Shining.
Is what he said, but I don't know. There's certain shots that look very familiar, but I don't know. Who knows? But
like when you got the old woman in the bathroom in The Shining and the old man, that's kind of similar, I thought.
And there's another element where somebody is turning the bathtub on, the water, and the bath and the sink, and it's just flooding and shit. Yeah. And then she's like questioning her sanity kind of shit. It's like that little element going on. I mean, it's pretty cool. There's a candle lit that she knew that was out, and she comes back over there and the candle's lit and shit. She's like, what the hell is it? But yeah, man. I don't know. I can't say anything else without spoiling the damn movie.
No, it's just a masterclass of suspense.
Yeah.
But if you want to see like really great, never heard of this type film, amazing camera work, watch Next of Kin, man. Like it's probably my favorite Australian film that I've seen, which I need to see more. But
now that movie that I did, I think that might have been before Dirk was on here with us. But remember when I did Cassandra?
Yeah.
Cassandra was an Australian movie too, and that's pretty much a pure-on slasher movie. But I think it's great too, and has a creepy vibe throughout it.
Would y'all consider this more of a slasher than any other thing? Because the director, he don't want to call it a slasher. He's like, well,
I wouldn't call it a pure slasher. I'm leaning more towards a Giallo, because a Giallo to me is not a slasher film. It's a Giallo's in its class by itself. So no, I don't think I would consider this just a straight ahead slasher.
Yeah, there are a couple of twists in here in the movie, like a Giallo does. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I would definitely call it a slasher, but that's just me. Because
the last 20 minutes is like a slasher. But.
Yeah. That again, another scene we didn't mention was the wheelchair scene as well.
Oh yeah.
With John Jarrett, that was amazing. That comes out of nowhere as well, like kind of a jump scene.
I don't want to spoil it because that scene's good.
Yeah. I'll just say it's the wheelchair scene. I won't say what exactly happened. But.
Right.
All
And that
right,
little
so-
kid, man, he did great. That little boy, Nico or whatever.
Yeah, very good actor.
And I usually don't like kid actors, but
He was good though. He was one of the good ones.
all
Yeah.
right, so that sounds like everybody recommending the movie. I don't know if Severn still got it in stock or
Yeah,
not.
if they do, I'm getting my hands on a copy because I
But-
want it.
Yeah,
If not, get this
Second
one Second Sight.
right. So
Okay.
what was that?
I
Who
got,
put that out?
Second Sight.
Okay.
It's probably got
Are
the same extras as
Yeah.
Severn, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So I guess Darren's pick next time. You got one in mind, or
Yeah, so hopefully, I know Dirk will be kind of okay with this, but hopefully you guys are. And it's House on the Edge of the Park.
oh,
yeah.
I'm not sure how Steve feels about it because you haven't watched it for a while, have you, Steve?
Well, I mean, I do like it. It's got all kinds of different elements, a little bitty cheesy
you can talk
comedy.
about David Hess.
And I haven't really watched my new. I think Severn released it.
Yeah.
The
Right.
last Blu-ray.
I
so
haven't watched my 4K yet.
That's
we'll watch
exactly why I picked it because I've not gone into the extras or anything. So
it. Yeah.
I think it'll be a good one to cover. Should be a fine one, actually.
I'm curious about that 4K because I mean I bought that blue and I was like,
Yeah, I'm
is that
not.
really neat. I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm like I bought a new. I'm not for
It's
now.
got
It's technically
got the
both
same
of
track and everything in.
yeah. That's why I was like, I guess.
Oh, right. I see I got a replacement disc as well. I remember now.
Huh.
Okay.
All right then. Well, we'll be back in a couple weeks with House on the Edge of the Park, and until then, thanks for watching, and we'll be back.
Right.
Cheers,
Yeah,
guys.
cool.
Catch you later, man.